Coach, thank you for joining us on the call today. Can you just give us a sense of how your open week went as you get ready for the game against UConn on Thursday, please?
Yeah, well, it was welcome. We got a chance to get some guys some nicks and bruises, and still got some work done with our older kids, or the kids that get the majority of reps during the game reps, and some guys that are in backup roles that we need to keep progressing as well. So it was good for us to do that. And then we got a chance to be on the road a little bit, but we had to, because of Thursday start time, we started our game week a little bit later in the week, so it was a little bit backwards. But the kids seemed to adjust well yesterday, and we know I know Bobby have his team ready to go, and like he always will. I know he's a really fantastic ball coach, but a better person, getting to know him and been around him and having competed against him before earlier in our careers. But the kids seemed to adjust well to the open week, and it was needed for us.
Any questions for Coach McNeill, please? Star 1 on your telephone to join the queue. The operator will introduce you.
We'll have a question from Dan Tortora with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media.
Hey, Coach. How you doing today?
Hey, Dan. How you doing?
Doing well. I know you spoke about, getting rid of some of those nicks and bruises in the bye week. What are some of the other things that you were able to take out of the bye week? I know a lot of the coaches have talked about fundamental work and getting back to basics. What did you really see that you could take out positively from that week?
Oh, that was good. It's just like the rest of the coaches. We talk fundamental play on all three sides of the ball. That was good. Trying to improve execution of our all three teams, special teams as well, offensively and defensively. You have a chance to self-scout and see what you're doing pretty good, what's effective and what's ineffective, and we had a chance to focus on that a little bit as well. And but it was just like the rest of the coaches. It's the fundamental part that you always have to you never neglect or never forget, and we focus on that mainly, but also trying to improve on execution of our offense, the defensive, and special team schemes.
And then as far as some of those, I know when you look at a team, you never look at anything as perfect. I know you've always been pushing your team to go one step farther. What are some of those pieces that, despite the fact that you've had such a successful season so far, what are some of those pieces that you really wanted to see an improvement of when you looked more specifically into offense, defense, and special teams, some of those areas that you want to see improve?
Well, penalties is one thing that we've been pretty good at really after the second year here. And, we break down penalties in three ways. One are administrative penalties, which would be considered an offsides or an alignment, that type of thing. And then the second one is a technique penalty, like, for example, holding or face mask by our defensive guy, by moving your feet. Those things can be corrected. And then penalties that are penalties that can be what we call selfish penalties. And so we thought we not thought, but know we can get better at our making sure we correct the technique penalties and the administrative penalties. So that was one of the things we knew we had to correct. Again, always emphasizing trying to play 11-man football on all three sides of the ball. Everybody just doing their job and taking pride in that, and not trying to do someone else's job. That's what happens a lot of times. And those two were the major things that we focused on as a staff.
Okay, Coach, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
And next we have Sammy Batten with Fayetteville Observer.
Hey, Ruff. I was just wondering, what do you see as the value of these Thursday night games in regards to exposure for your program?
Well, I think it's great for our conference. I know Commissioner Resco mentioned that to us, and our coaches meeting, Sammy, we talked about it as well as a conference, making sure we get that exposure. This is our seventh time on television on ESPN, and it's been great for our conference and as well as our team and our university, and give us a chance to see our program for one, but our university, our fan base, and also bring attention to Greenville and Eastern North Carolina, our region. So it helps in a lot of ways, just all parts of our program, like I mentioned, university awareness and our city of Greenville, our university, like I mentioned, and then also our region. So it helps in all those aspects.
Yeah, just to follow up too, when do you recall the first time you ever heard the term air raid offense, and what was it about that style that led you to kind of adopt that once you became head coach at East Carolina?
Well, it was when Hal Mummy and Mike were at Iowa Western with John Wiley. John and I began coaching in '89 at Appalachian State with Coach Moore, and when I joined Mike at Texas Tech, that was a title put on it there, but they began throwing the ball around really out Iowa Western, and then at Texas Tech it became really a label for our team and our offense. And going against the offense each day in practice as a defensive guy all my life, playing and coaching, it was something I said, well, if I ever become a head coach, or when I finish, and whether it's high school level or whatever, I know I want to do this because it gives us a chance to perhaps be in each game, no matter what opponent you're playing talent-wise. And the way the game was going, having coached at Fresno State on the California West Coast, the passing leagues were beginning to come on strong as well. So quarterbacks will be developed with that. Receivers and defensive backs will be developed with that. That's when just that change came to mind. A lot of people still go to the pound and ground and pound type, but for me, as a defensive guy, I felt that would give us the best chance to compete and just be in the games regardless of our talent level.
And our next question, we'll hear from Paul Doyle with the Hartford Chorus.
Hi, Coach. Good morning. I had a question about Shane. When did you sort of know that he could be not the player he is, but the leader he is? Was there something early on in his time at East Carolina that gave you that indication?
No, Paul, I'll tell you, it was the first year, but it came apparent the second year when he was vying for the backup spot behind Dominic Davis, and he didn't achieve that, and he had to go back to scout team and give us a look, our defense a look. And he didn't become a locker room lawyer. He didn't pout. He played quarterback, but also, Paul, tight end, running back, whatever we needed on defense at that time, and but kept working, doing things off the field, which we emphasized in the classroom, and kept working in the weight room and doing the things that way. And you can see him after practice on Thursday nights. On a Saturday type week, we have Thursday night football, for example. This week it'll be Tuesday night football, because of the Thursday date. But where we scrimmage our redshirt guys and against one another, and he continued to work on his craft in his toolbox. And then the third year, he was competing for the start position and got hurt in the spring and about halfway through, and didn't make it through the entire spring. Came back in the fall, competition still there. Lincoln, Roddy, my offensive coordinator, and so the head coach, divided up the reps evenly all fall camp. And the young man he was going against had played in a game. So we were getting ready for the season, and we knew you had to make a choice. They both came out just about even percentage-wise in all the categories. So we went the young man who had played in a game. And Shane was disappointed, but he kept working and kept, I call it dialed in. He was still dialed in to what was happening during practice, even though his reps went from 50-50 to 80-20. Shane getting to 20% like our backup guys do. And if he was not ready when his opportunity came, which it came that year against South Carolina, he would have really not been ready to play. But he threw an interception in his first series in, Paul, and Lincoln pulled him out and got after him. I mean, really shooting pretty hard, and he didn't pout. Went back in and let us down and became a starting quarterback. So that second year when he didn't get the backup job, and that third year when he was competing, that's when you saw him become the quarterback of our offense and then become the quarterback of our team. And he still practices every day like he could lose his job.
Okay, great. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Paul.
And do we have any other questions for Coach McNeill, please? And, Coach, we'll thank you for your time this week. Look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Yes, sir. Thank you.